Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever the fluff you are. And welcome to a series that hasn't been used for a while. So, a good old bit of Scrum news going on, since there's quite a few things all about rumours and possible confirmations that the NRL is looking to buy into or buy all of Super League, Championship and League One. So, it has been reported in many sources that the NRL have been in talks with some of the RFL bigwigs and are looking to spend hundreds of millions of dollars, so that's Australian dollars, for buying into the Super League, Championship and League One, or buying Super League outright. So I don't know how I feel about that. There's a few things that some people have said in the past would be a good thing because, well, the NRL is a profit-making machine that is absolutely smashing it right now. But there is also other issues with that. Because that is a closed system in the NRL, basically the NRL is pretty much like the NFL in America, where everyone's branched in and the only way to get in is have an expansion. Then everything below is then seen as substandard or below service. So I don't really know 100% how to feel about that. I will go into the pros and cons in a little while, and there's quite a few cons that some people may have brought up already in the past. But it could be a good thing because having people in that are more into the profit side of it and want to grow it and actually make it so that you can actually see it on TV and you don't have to pay for a giant freaking TV package, because some of us can't afford that. Yeah, I do enjoy going to the games live and watching them in the stadium, but I can't exactly go every week. You know, if there was like 3 home games in a row, I could only prioritise one. Maybe like have one, skip the second, and go to the third. But I can't do all 3 because, well, money's tight. Money always is tight. That's the issue. But I mean, come on. It could be a good thing in the sense of they'd be able to sort all the issues out. We might actually be able to have like a status where refs will all be taught in a similar vein and it won't go through to whatever, and then we won't be able to have what some people keep saying is the Wigan ref, the Saints ref, the Leeds bias. You know, we won't have any of those issues that people keep coming up with, because then there won't be a ref which is anything connected. So whether they were born or live in the area, that ref shouldn't be reffing that game. So it should be then. So for instance, if it is a Wigan and Leeds game, just for instance, then we could have a ref that was born in Hull, or we could have a ref that isn't even from the 62 corridor. We could have a ref that was born in the Midlands. You know, it could be anywhere. We could have a Welsh ref, we could have a Scottish ref, we could have a London ref. I know that's a rarity, but come on, we could have refs from everywhere, because we might actually be able to open up the doors for that. Might be able to do more partnerships with other things. Some of these are all pros, but there's a few cons coming along the line, which, let's just get into the cons now whilst I've got some of them in mind. So one of the main fears that some people may or may not have raised in the past is if the NRL buys in, or buys it all outright, what's the chances that some of the teams that aren't quite as wealthy as some other teams could be bought into by partnerships to do with clubs in the NRL? Meaning that the Super League or the English club could then just become a feeder club for the big boy back in Oz. Meaning, if they've got some youth players that they want to test out, but they don't want to test them out in Oz just yet, bring them over here for 3 years to do brilliantly over here, and then they get usurped and spat back in over there. Also, all of the superstars that aren't on megabucks or aren't exactly on long contracts, what's the chances that clubs could just free poach these at a discounted rate so there's no stars? Meaning then that there's no point in having the World Club Challenge, because that would then be null and void, because all the Australian teams would be star-studded and all the Super League teams would just be meh. Also, the fear that some people have had is that they will spin it so that it's then a Winter League over here, to match being a Winter League over there, but then if there's any players that were injured at the end or close to the end of their season, they could be parachuted into our season, worked on, warmed up, get their fitness, and as soon as the NRL season kicks in, they're then spat back in over to Australia. That's another fear. Another one is ticket prices. Now, as I mentioned, with not being able to afford going to thingies, ticket prices is actually quite a bit of an issue, because when you've got families that are like, you know, for instance, your stereotypical 2-2, so 2 adults, 2 kids, and your adult prices are 20, 25 or above, so it's 50 quid for 2 adults, and then your kid prices are again 50 quid, that's 30 quid just for 2 kids. So it's 80 quid to go watch. Some families only take like dad and kid. Some do mum and kid. Some do mum, dad and kid. Some do, whatever. But still, there's no discount prices anywhere for that, apart from having, under a certain age, go free. But there does need to be something there. But if the ticket prices were to go up, then there will be a lot of issues. Some of the other things is kind of, what they're going to do about how to get everything else in. So, for instance, some of your teams that are a little bit more on kind of like we are totally amateur, what's the chances that they might not get help? That a lot of the teams that are yo-yo teams between the League One and Championship, they might get cut out or told to merge instead. That funds will be available, but you've got to jump through many more hoops. So I'm just going to roll into a couple of pros. Since this IMG thing is causing quite a lot of issues because of these grading marks and everything, and you've got to be this and you've got to be that and you need this and you need that, I totally understand that grassroots basically kind of means, a couple of standing areas, a field, stick the lads out there and get them going. Totally understand that one, but I mean, when you've got teams that are looking to walk away from their current stadium, build a new stadium, and then do a partnership with another team to then do up the other team's stadium at the same time to bring it then up to Super League standard. And you've then got teams who are playing in old stadiums which do need a lot of work to them and have got some historic value to them in ways, but don't have the money behind them to be able to do the place up. They're just patching it up. You've got a team which is playing in a stadium which has once held over 100,000 people. Now, sorry Bradford if it sounds like I'm bagging on you here, but I mean, it doesn't look good on TV when you see the stands miles away because you've then got the speedway track or whatever in front of the stands. Then you've then got what is basically, at sometimes, especially with the bad weather that we get in this country, looks like a swampy potato field. Yeah, I miss having Bradford in the Super League, but that place does not look good on TV. I've never been, so I can't say how it is in person, but looking at it from a TV standpoint, it does not look good. I know that's just aesthetics and things, and I know the place could more than likely easily be done up, but it doesn't look good, and many fans have said that that place needs fixing, so that's one of the things that needs to be done. So one pro on that is maybe that if this takeover does happen, that there would then be a funding stream for teams that want to do up their stands, want to redevelop their stadiums, that they could do that. But on the other hand, with the Huddersfield thing which is going on at the moment, with their owner looking to leave the current stadium, build a new stadium, but also at the same time be doing a partnership with Halifax to then do up Halifax's stadium, to then bring that up to the standards. You've then got this mess that's going on at the moment with Salford, with their owners. This is taking forever for this thing to have been finalised. Players haven't been paid at the time of recording. Players haven't been paid. It's very messy. They're under another 1.2 million team cap again, which doesn't look good for the sport. It's looking very amateurish. There's a lot of things that can come and go, but I mean, maybe the bods can go in and just go, hey guys, come on, sort this out, or you're suspended and this is stopped, because this is getting very messy. You know, you've got teams like KR that are absolutely flying at the moment and are doing everything that they possibly can to redevelop their current ground. They've got a small stadium in comparison to some of the top ones. They sell out or near sell out every game. Now, looking at it from what I've seen on the TV bits and when I've been able to watch it on TV, that place, if it was done up, could easily be 15 to 18,000, and they would probably even sell that out. Saints have got a good ground. They can easily sell theirs out. Wire, they're doing good with theirs. I'm not saying that every ground has to be these bowls. We're doing some of the old school ones, but I mean, come on. We do need things to be worked in here. So maybe we could have a standard where we could have stadiums and teams that have good stadiums. Good teams get good stadiums, that's always been the case. But sometimes good teams play in bad stadiums, bad teams can also play in good stadiums. All teams do need something going on, and they need some protections here. Also, this thing with almost every team having millions of pounds worth of debts still because of COVID and because of losses. Here's another major pro that I could think of as well. Going back pre-COVID, Sky paid close to 40 million per season. Now they're paying 25 million or less per season. That isn't per team, by the way. That's just an entire package. Now Sky show every game, depending on how you select it on Plus and things like that. They're showing every game. So we're getting more TV, but less revenue coming in. Again, that's where the ticket price argument comes in. Because the TV revenue has gone down, ticket prices are crept up in some teams. So we need a cap here. We need to work that out as well. And then plus some teams charging, well, rumours that some teams charge away fans more than home fans. I know that's a different thing, but I mean, if there could be, you know, like a cap on how much you charge away fans, if like say 25 quid or whatever, that would be fine. And then if whoever comes in, if this takeover does happen and the NRL lads turn around and go, right, Sky, you have to start paying 50 million, per season, for instance. And then they go, right, well, you've got a bit of a monopoly on that. Why don't we then go and talk to the BBC again and see what they want to do? If they want to increase anything there, they say no, go to ITV. If ITV say no, go back to Channel 4. I was loving the coverage on Channel 4. They were doing well with that. You know, ask them. If they don't want to do it, then maybe ask Channel 5 if they want to get involved. If they don't want to get involved, then ask some of the other partners that are going on around as well. Spread it out a bit. Make it so that you don't just have to have this stupid high cost package for that. Maybe we could even get things streamed so that anyone that has, you know, a Netflix or anyone that has Amazon Prime, they can get one game a month included in their package. You know, you could do that. Maybe we could even have packages where teams can run their own streaming services and are allowed to show the games, because that would be good. I know some teams have team radio, so that would also work really well. But there's a lot of positives and negatives for this. So what do you think? What do you think is going to happen with this? I don't know. In a way, I would like it to happen more for the fact that they would actually probably be able to push the sport on and make it better. On the downside, there is quite a few fears and negatives that could come in, especially with some of the rumours of moving things around and making it so that basically the English leagues are just a feeder series. The TV package deals, they need to be sorted out. A lot of the other stuff needs to be done. If that happens, then what's really going to happen with all this Vegas thing, and then the NRL season kicking off in London? Because that's another rumour, is that once the Vegas experiment is over, they would then be wanting to have a couple of years where they kick off and it's at Wembley. Meaning then that the NRL lads are playing in a 90,000 seat arena. They could probably easily sell that out as well, but I mean, after being there for the Challenge Cup, that is going to be interesting. Because of the ebb and flow of everyone and the way that it works out. It's going to be a little bit difficult and a bit different, but that would be fun. Anyway, if you've got anything to say, stick it all down below. If you liked it, then give it a like. If you disliked, give it a dislike. It doesn't really matter how you interact with that, because it's all interactions and that helps the algorithms. If you want to help with the quest to 500, then hit that subscribe button. If you don't want to miss any upload, then ring-a-ding-ding-a-ding. Anyway, I've rambled on long enough, so I will sign out. Always remember, be good to yourself and those around you. You only get out of life what you put into it, so if you only put the smallest amount in, you will get the smallest amount back. Always practice good mental health. See you later. Peace out and goodbye.